Hi everyone, it's Calvin, and today I'm going to be doing a new type of series, I guess, that I want to start doing. I used to do this thing called Roaming Recess, but as time went on, it became less and less kind of interesting to do because it kind of felt like it was kind of the same thing over and over again, and it wasn't as comfortable on camera as I was just talking into a microphone. Also, I kind of just wanted to talk about the news that's going on with video games. So this is going to be kind of like a short, very, very short kind of podcast thing, but it's not going to be a podcast. It's basically just going to be me talking about different things. And also, I want you guys to give your opinions on certain things. So in the next video each week, I can feature your comments and basically talk about that as well, which makes it easier for me as well to talk about stuff, having your guys' input as well. So I'm going to start off obviously by talking about the news, or certain news, not all the news, just like some stuff that I'm interested in, not stuff that I'm not interested in, and also what I've been playing and what I've been watching, and of course you can tell me what you've been watching and all this stuff as well. Let's get into it. In terms of news, Yakuza Kiwami 2 has been leaked, and it was leaked in a very funny way. It was on a Japanese PlayStation store where you can actually see the name Yakuza Kiwami, not Yakuza Kiwami 2, but I think that's what it says, but it's like 2. Basically it's going to be like the second game remastered, which I guess we kind of should have expected by now. Yakuza has been pumping out games to the West ever since, I think basically since like 4 and 5 kind of did well over here. I'm excited for this because I actually haven't played a Yakuza game, but I'm actually going to be playing Yakuza Kiwami for the first time this coming Friday. The games look very interesting to me. I'm always interested in places that I've never been before in actual real life, and it's not this obsession with Japan that I have, or this obsession with America or anything like that, but I like going to places like Los Angeles in games, or going to places like New York in video games, and going to places like Japan in video games is also very cool. And that's why I love games like this that are just set in different worlds. You know, they're actually real, they're real worlds, but of course it's going to be very crazy in Yakuza. This is supposed to release on the 7th of December this year in Japan. Now, I think Yakuza Kiwami released last year already in Japan, so what we could see is actually a year and a difference between the release of this in Japan and America, or they could just wise up and release it worldwide, so that makes it, I don't know, I think it's much better releasing games worldwide. It kind of frustrates me having to stay off Twitter for a long time when games don't release worldwide. I saw it with, it happened with Bloodborne, it happened with Persona 5 for the most part. Every time I saw a Persona 5 article, I had to just like block the site, and I did. I blocked sites for months, and I think that's an okay thing to do, and then I unblocked them when the game came out, because I don't even want to see a screenshot of certain things. But yeah, that's really cool. I hope it releases worldwide because I know a lot of people that like this game, and hopefully I'll like this series too, coming this week. We also had Secret of Mana, the remake, being announced for PlayStation 4, PS Vita, and the PC. I think this looks cool. I really do think this looks cool. It's a thing where people have been kind of, there's people on the fence about it, and I can understand that. People who love Secret of Mana a lot and have it as like one of the favorite games of all time. I've heard people saying this remake looks worse than anything that game could have ever done, and a lot of people saying this game looks better. I've seen people who are fans of Square Enix in general saying that why can't other games get this treatment, and it does look like it's been treated very well. It looks like it's fully voiced. It's basically realized in 3D. It has new music, I think, not new music, but has like music attached onto it that has been revamped as well. I kind of agree. I think that maybe more Square Enix games could get this treatment. I wish other companies would look at the stuff that companies are doing right now, like Square Enix, who are remastering games. But the thing is, I think the kings of doing it right now are, not the kings, oh my god, I'm going to get so killed for saying it, but I think one of the best companies that are doing now are Atlas, who are re-releasing a bunch of games for different consoles. Do I think it's a great thing that we're getting so many remasters? Probably not. It's probably not the best thing in the world that's all, that, you know, that's mostly what we're getting for the next couple of years. But then again, a lot of these games are games I haven't played before. I've never played Secret of Mana, and yes, this might be my first interaction with this entire series. And I'm 100% okay with this being my first ever interaction with Secret of Mana. And I'm probably going to play it on the Vita myself. The Vita to me is a great console. It's actually one of my favorite consoles that I've ever owned. And I know that's, for people who bought the Vita Day One, they probably don't feel the same way. But for me coming in later and having so many games to play, it's just been a delight to own the Vita. I think the remakes looks fine. I think it looks great, actually. Yeah, I shouldn't say just fine. I guess if I could have like one point about it, sometimes that art style throws me off a bit. The kind of blocky kind of anime face style kind of throws me off a bit. But I think, I don't know, there's something quirky and kind of like charming about that style as well. I'm going to have to see it when it comes out, and of course I'm going to have to look at a few reviews. They set a hard date for it, I believe. I think it's in February next year, which is fantastic. For an announcement trailer to have a date, which probably means that they're very sure that they're going to be able to finish this by then, or they're just trying to get people's hopes up and they're going to do a crackdown situation on it where they kind of trickle it out and actually don't release it until like years later. And speaking of crackdown, Xbox are doing a good thing, I think. I don't own an Xbox, but they have announced 2 different versions of Xbox consoles. First, which I feel like is, believe it or not, I think the least important of the 2, but still very important, is the Xbox One X Scorpio Edition. The reason why I think this is important is because people like to have day one editions of things. Collectors like to buy day one, or day zeros, in fact, of different consoles and different tech stuff, you know? With video games, you have day one's editions that honestly entice people to go, well, I want the day one edition. I don't want to be that scrub that doesn't have that. When in reality, it doesn't matter to me, but I don't know, it could matter to a lot of other people. The Xbox Scorpio actually looks really nice, and it's actually a cool touch just writing Scorpio on it, because personally I think Scorpio is a better name than Xbox One X. I always thought it was, and when I heard Scorpio, that just sounds intimidating. That just sounds like this console is coming to get you. which you know what, like I think that's fine. I think that's something that they needed, and maybe more often they might just use Scorpio as kind of another name for the Xbox One X. This is going to be the most powerful console, home console ever, and it looks great. I think it looks great. A lot of people talk about the design. A lot of people wanted it to look beefier, but personally, I'm all about having a smaller console. I want my consoles to be smaller, more compact. When I saw the PS4 Pro design, I nearly got sick because I was like, why do I need an extra layer? Of course, it's because it's probably beefier, but like, why do I need it to be towered upon another tower, you know? I kind of want things to be kind of neat and tidy, and that's what I kind of need for my area that I live in, or my space that I live in. Also, they have an Xbox Minecraft edition, which looks cool, but they have to be wary on the price, because yes, parents are going to go buy this for their children because it might be their first experience of Minecraft on a console. They're probably playing it on their iPads. And also, Minecraft enthusiasts might buy this as well. You know that there's going to be Minecraft YouTubers getting this for free, and they're going to advertise it, which, believe it or not, children go crazy from Minecraft YouTubers, and you know, some teens do as well. So you might actually see that being a massive influence on it, which I think is very smart. I like the consoles look. I do like both consoles look. I think the controllers that come with them, I think you can get a pig controller as well, as you can get on, you know, just the ordinary Minecraft controller that comes with it, but you can also get a pig controller that's like $69.99 or $64.99 that has a picture of a Minecraft pig on it, which like, why didn't they put that one free with it? That's like an instant buy already for me. It looks great. I think it looks fantastic, and I think Xbox are smart because it's not just an opinion. If you're talking about an actual race, this year they have an uphill battle. They really do, because they're releasing their console the same year as the Switch. And I'm not saying the Switch is going to outsell the Xbox eventually. I don't know that. I'm not an actual analyst. I'm not, you know, Michael Pachter. But I think that releasing the Xbox Scorpio this year is probably going to be more difficult than any other year, because this Christmas, when a child asks their mother for something, and the way I see it is this, and I know people are going to say you're just a Sony fanboy, but I'm not really. I don't really have an allegiance to a company that's trying to take my money. But like, if you're a parent, and the majority of people who buy consoles are not in the bubble of news. They don't follow Game Informer on Twitter like most people, like some of you people probably do. They don't follow like Polygon or Kotaku or Eurogamer. They don't read up on news, and like, who has time to do that all the time anyway? So the majority of people who buy video game consoles are the people that walk into the store and say, hey, can I get whatever console The Last of Us has, whatever console Halo is on, can I get that please? And if you're a parent walking into a store and you see three different new consoles, and your child goes, can I have the new Xbox or whatever, and they go into the Xbox store, and the newest Xbox is either a €400 Minecraft one, a 500 euro Xbox One Scorpio, or it's and this was so smart, because here's the thing: Sony has a lesser console in terms of power compared to the Xbox One Scorpio, but they released their console in a way that's like, they knew what they were doing. They were like, it's dirty and it's underhanded. It's called like cutting corners with your console to basically have it out at a time that you can discount it a year later, and it looks way better on the shelf. Because the thing is, no matter how powerful your console is, an Xbox One Scorpio is the most powerful home console. No matter how powerful it is, when a parent walks into a store and they see one console costs 300, one console costs another 300, another console, they see this, they're probably going to go for the lesser prices. At least that's how my parents worked. I don't know how other parents worked. When I was younger, it was whatever is the cheapest one you get, which I'm kind of grateful for, because that kind of gives you a better understanding of how the world works. You can't just buy the most expensive thing all the time. I hope the Xbox One Scorpio does really well. I don't know how well it's going to do. I think that Xbox has already sold millions upon millions. It's very successful. I wonder how it's going to do, and I hope it does well. And Phil Spencer's a really, really nice person, at least from Twitter, interacting with him sometimes. And I'm not friends with Phil Spencer. I've just, you know what I mean? Not interactions, like... His tweets are incredibly nice. I shouldn't have said interactions. Like, that made me sound like, hey, I'm a business insider. I do not know Phil Spencer. I'm just saying that, and everyone knows this. Getting into what I've been playing this week, however, I've been playing a few games. I went back and I started playing Persona 4 just today. Persona 4 The Golden is one of the greatest games ever made, and I'm not saying in my opinion, because I'm kind of giving up on saying that, because everyone who says, oh, this game is the greatest game ever made, that is an opinion. You don't have to say in my opinion after everything. I do love Persona 4 a lot, and I'm having a lot of fun playing through it again. I thought I wouldn't be able to do it, but I am, and I'm having too much of a good time doing it. I also just finished my first ever Super Mario game a couple of weeks back, and that was Super Mario 3D World. That game is really good, and I never understand why people say that this past generation of Mario games wasn't that good, when that game, I believe, is just really, really fantastic. I had more fun with that than I did with Mario 64, and I know that might annoy some people, me saying that, but personally I think that's just my viewpoint, and I love that game. I love that game. It's probably one of my favorite platformers I've ever played. Very interesting, I think. Super Mario 3D World has a lot of interesting levels. There were some times where I was like, this is kind of frustrating, but at the same time I think the 3D works very well, and also you don't have to stay in the same spot. You can move around the camera quite a bit, making the game much more easier to handle and much more fun to play. I don't think it's that much of a problem at all playing it. And I also started playing Dragon Quest VII again. It's a game that, like, it's so interesting, but at the same time the mountain of dialogue and the vocations throw me off and all this stuff. I have to find time to finish it. I'm trying to find time to finish it, but it never comes up. Because it's a big commitment, because I've already played 50 hours of it. And looking at the what time is left, I'm assuming there's going to be at least 15 hours left. And that doesn't sound like a lot compared to 50 hours, but I don't want to get bored and not play it. I don't want to hate the game towards the end, so I'm trying to play it in intervals. Dragon Quest VIII that I finished a while back there is much better, in my opinion. I just said in my opinion, I broke my rule already. It's great. I think it's fantastic. But it's fantastic in bursts, and the characters to me aren't as interesting as they were in Dragon Quest VIII. And I know that's, that's like saying, I don't know, that's kind of bullshit. That's a bullshit statement, because Dragon Quest VIII came after Dragon Quest VII, so they learned from stuff they did before. So it's kind of just a silly statement to make. I like it though. I like it. And finally, talk about what I've been watching. I've been watching Game of Thrones, of course. I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't think I want to spoil anything about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is fantastic. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And people have been saying this season has moved fast quite a bit. But man, I don't care. I don't care, man. This is the only show that I watch when it comes out weekly. There's no other show. I used to watch when I was younger Lost, but that was it. This is the first show since Lost that I've watched weekly. I was into Yu-Gi-Oh, but I watched that every day. It was on every single day, weekday, Monday to Friday. So it's a little bit different. There are, of course, there's going to be plot holes in every show, but I like the fast pace. I think the fast pace is needed in, you know, a 7 episode period. I don't want to watch people traveling places on a boat for days and walking for days. I don't want to see it anymore. I just want to kind of get into the action. I've also been watching The Future Diary, which I think has a different Japanese anime name. This show is not just a great anime, but it's a great show in general. I'm not as into anime as like my friends give me credit for. I like watching it, but the thing is I watch like 5 minutes of it. It's like 5 episodes, and then I'm just like, man, this is like not that interesting. And it doesn't happen with everyone. Like, you know, then something hooks, like Parasite the Maxim hooked, Monster hooked me. This one, The Future Diary, really has hooked me as well. Death Note hooked me. You know, Attack on Titan, for the time that I was watching it, did hook me. I have to get back to it at some point, but I'm kind of waiting for it to like get deeper into it's going to take a while, I know. You know, different shows hook me, but then like some of them I'm just like, man, this is just not that good, you know? Which, you know, there's lots of Japanese cartoons out there, so it's obviously makes sense that like not all of them are going to be like my favorite things in the world. But I really do like it. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I guess what I will say is that it's about, because it's in the description of the show. It's about like this young guy, who called Yukitaro Amano, I think it is, who gets locked in this battle royale of different people. Again, I can't even name out like, it's so good. It's really good, and it's really really tense, and I think a lot of people would have like a lot of fun watching it, personally. But yeah, guys, that's what it's going to do for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talk like an idiot for a while. I had a lot of fun doing this. Yeah, as always, guys, thank you for watching this, as I said. And if you have anything you want to say, put in the comment section, and I will feature it next week and talk about it. And again, that's going to make this a lot easier for me, because then I'll have more discussion points. This isn't a podcast. This is just bullshit. I'll see you very soon.